How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about several operations that are happening right now all over the nation to recover missing and/or endangered children. The biggest one that I've seen so far is called Operation Not Forgotten, and that's down there in the Atlanta, Georgia area. 39 children were rescued by U.S. Marshals, and all of these children were either forced into sex slavery or they were in danger of being forced into sex slavery, if not for the U.S. Marshals rescuing them. There was another one in Ohio called Operation Safety Net with 20 children that were saved, and they were in similar circumstances. Now, there's a lot I want to say here, but first, let's watch this news clip from local media in Atlanta, not mainstream media. We'll talk about that in a minute. After we get done watching that, I'll talk about what was said there. Then I'll give you my 2 cents, my deep detail analysis, and then I'll wrap it on up with a nice bow on top. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Well, this afternoon, developing at 5, more than 24 children are now safe. They were all part of a sex trafficking bust involving state and federal agents. And if you think this is not happening where you live, this bust was across 20 counties right around the metro area. Channel 2's Gwinnett County Bureau Chief Tony Thomas joins us now live with the results. Tony.
Jovita, the U.S. Marshals usually focus on finding the hardest to catch criminals, but over the last couple of weeks, they've been focusing on children. Some, they say, hiding in plain sight, others being hidden by others. Director of the U.S. Marshals Service in town today saying finding these kids more important to him than finding the criminals.
We can look to the remoteness of the location.
For 2 weeks, U.S. Marshals fugitive hunters and other agencies scoured north and middle Georgia.
We're going to try to get you something to drink, okay?
Looking for missing and exploited children. Marshals Service Director Donald Washington says in all 26 endangered children were recovered, another 13 found. Children authorities fear had already or were potential victims of sex trafficking.
One missing child is worth thousands, in my mind, of fugitives that we go out and get.
The operation spanned across 20 Georgia counties. Sources say children were found in Gwinnett, Fulton, Clayton, Forsyth, among other places. 9 suspects were arrested. Authorities only identified 3, including Kirk Waters in Newton County.
He was arrested for being while in the company of one of our recovered children. He was charged with possession of a firearm by a convicted felon.
Waters, Stanson Causey, and others are now behind bars as state prosecutors step in to handle the cases and medical and social workers focus on helping traumatized kids.
How many lives that we have saved and will have a new and fresh start is how we will measure success.
Other major cities across the country have similar operations underway, although I'm told some of them have yet to be completed. Live in Gwinnett County, Tony Thomas, Channel 2 Action News.
Child sex trafficking is a big problem in the metro area, and there's a reason for it. According to a report from Georgia State University, our state has been considered a human trafficking hub since 2005. That's when the FBI first identified Atlanta as one of the 14 cities with the highest rates of sexually trafficked children. In 2018, the National Human Trafficking Hotline ranked Georgia 4th among states.
All right, so you saw that, you heard that. Now, first things first, I want to thank the U.S. Marshals, the federal government, local police, state police. Thank you to everybody that has saved these children. I don't know how they got there, why they got there. To me, that's less important as the fact that they're saved. Okay, how they got there is important. We'll talk about that in a minute, but I'm glad that they're saved. That's number one. Number two, where is the media? Where's the mainstream media with the story? Normally, I go on Google and I search a topic and then I see who's covering it, how they're covering it, if they're going to put spin on or whatever, but I don't really see anything about this story except for local media. You know, I see Fox News had a story on their website and so does CNN, but normally I see the usual suspects. New York Times, Huffington Post, Washington Post. Where are they at? I don't see them talking about this story. Okay, this is not just one operation or 2 operations. You're talking about 14 operations or more, between 14, 20, all over the country, not just in Atlanta or Ohio, but all over the nation. So why don't we see any kind of coverage about this story? I really don't understand. You know, I'm saying things about Jacob Blake and George Floyd and, you know, March on Washington, all this and that and the third. But where's the story about the children that are being saved? This is really important. Okay, human trafficking, sex trafficking is really important. Okay, you just got Ghislaine Maxwell in jail, and she was involved with this. Epstein, he quote unquote killed himself. He was involved with this. So what's really going on? Okay, I'm just trying to figure out why this is not in the mainstream media. Now, a thought here could be because of the Save the Children hashtag that was pushed by people that are aligned with Q. And those that aren't as well. The whole thing about Save the Children was not just a Q thing. This is a real thing. We know what's going on. We see the Amber Alerts. I got an Amber Alert on my phone just right now. We see Amber Alerts, and then do you get a follow-up all the time? Like, okay, X, Y, and Z child has been saved. They're fine or whatever. You got kids being killed, kids being abducted, and you have a big ring of these guys that are selling children and whatnot. Okay, a lot of these drug cartels do this. They traffic human beings across the border. All right, not just American kids being stolen, that happens too, but also their own people. You know, a lot of illegal aliens over here are trafficked human beings. People talk about, oh, you know, nobody is illegal. What if they got stolen and they were brought over here as a literal slave? Okay, you see all the time, you get these Chinese massage parlors, they get busted, and there'd be about 4 or 5 women in there. They all have Chinese names. They don't speak any English. What are they doing over here? They're being trafficked. Okay, that's happening with our children. So this should be a pretty big story, but it's not. I think there could be a political reason because they didn't want to give any validity to the Save the Children hashtag. But we know what's happening. I think day after day, things that are so-called conspiracy theories get proven to be correct. Just like Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell a few years ago, that might have been a conspiracy theory. Are we talking about the Epsteins? They didn't do anything. Same thing with Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby, same thing with Harvey Weinstein. Oh, it's not really a big deal. This is an urban legend, all this and that. But they're locked up now. So maybe it wasn't too far off base. Same thing here with Save the Children. We know that children are being abducted. We know that you have sex trafficking going on with children, and you have operations that are being led by the federal government and local governments to save these children. So maybe we're not wrong about that, mainstream media. And this is part of the reason why I exist, because without guys like myself and many others that are kind of like the independent media, alternative media, these stories would pretty much be hidden and you wouldn't even know what's going on. You got to understand what's going on with this country. There are certain things that are happening that you would never know about if you didn't search for it. Okay, kids are being stolen. Like, you got these kids been left in cars for a while. Okay, the car's not hot, but the car's cracked. You got people scanning the parking lot, waiting for opportunity to come take the kid, and they do it all the time. And it's a cycle that happens. This is the reality of what's going on right now in the country. So to all the parents out there, please stay vigilant and don't let the media tell you that it's not really a big deal. Don't let them say, oh, Save the Children hashtag is a bunch of right-wing nut jobs. They're Q conspiracy theorists, all this and that. And then I have a question. Since Facebook deleted so many of the Q pages, could they be considered obstructing justice? Because a lot of these pages might have some good information on it about what's happening with these crimes that are being committed against kids. Just maybe. I'm just trying to figure out why would they do something like that. You know, this is not a conspiracy theory anymore. Now, some things that some people say might not be accurate, and that's fine, but that's just people in general. That's not just relegated to one group or another. All right. But I know it is true. Children are being taken. Children are in danger in this country, and you got to stay vigilant. And I pray that all the kids that have been abducted are able to go back to a normal life, a positive and productive life, and they don't have to deal with the crazy underworld that they were exposed to at a way too young age. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Do you think the mainstream media are intentionally ignoring the story to prevent any kind of, PR fallout? They don't want to be accused of being conspiracy theorists. Is it a way to try to attack Trump and Trump supporters and validate them? I mean, if that's what's going on, that's crazy, but if that's your viewpoint, let me know why in the comments below. Or is it a coincidence that no mainstream media is reporting that 39 kids got saved in a sweep? You're talking about missing children now and endangered children, children that were being prostituted. You're talking about serious, like, going to Gitmo type crimes, terrorist type stuff. You're talking about high level offenses with children. Why is that not really being covered? It should be. I don't want to hear about some random baseball player crying on TV because somebody that got shot he don't know. I've seen guys in the NBA play after the grandmama gets shot and it's fine. They score 50 points. They do it in memory of Big Mama. But then when it comes to a serious issue like missing children, all of a sudden they're nowhere to be found. What's really going on? This should be enough evidence to let you know that the mainstream media is not really your friend. Okay, I think we've all known that and we should know it by now. But this is more evidence to prove exactly what I'm talking about. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.